We're back, people, and today we're breaking up film on Chris Brooks, Green Bay Packers running back, who's been like showing off his value, especially in these most recent games for the Packers. Really, as a blocker, like he's been doing a lot of good stuff in pass protection, even as a lead blocker out on the run. Really, really nice to see that. You know, as a Dolphins fan, really happy for Chris Brooks. I really wanted to keep him around. Obviously, it's not the biggest deal. They have a great running back room, but Brooks really getting to make a name for himself for the Packers. He's getting some playing time. But the blocking has been really impressive. I want to still see more as a runner. I think when, you know, if he ever gets more opportunities, he can do some good stuff. I think he's a good outside zone runner, good vision, bigger back, good contact balance. He's not the most explosive guy, but you get to see some explosiveness. Like he made a nice catch last week versus the Jaguars. You get to see him run a route. He can be a valuable third down back because clearly he's got the blocking ability. He even did like fullback work for the Dolphins. So nice to see, you know, him kind of making his name for himself with the Packers. Just really big fan of him, and we'll definitely be rooting. And they're just making heads up play, like they're trying to, at the end of the game, they're trying to let him get a walk-in touchdown. But here, just finding the linebacker in the middle, doing this in multiple different ways. You know, BOB, you got the big on bigs, and then you got the backer on the backer, and he's just meeting him the whole, and just boom, washing him out of the way. And Chris Brooks is a big body, like 6'1", 230 about, and just taking him, not even allowing him to get even close to Jordan Love in this scenario. And he has a lot of good reps like this. And there's examples of him, you know, hasn't done this with the Packers yet, but where he was playing as like a fullback move tight end, even in games for Dolphins. And I think he could do some of that if you really wanted to him. So I think he has that type of versatility. He also just be straight up like your third down back that blocks in pass protection, and also be a lead blocker out in space, because I know the Packers like to run two back looks and then run those, you know, reverses, whether it's to, you could also go to receivers and stuff like that. But look at him just stonewall these linebackers. 51 looks like they're trying to work maybe some stunt action, but 51 just gets completely taken. He gets no ground gained on him there. Usually with running backs, like this is about as good as pass protection as you'll see from a running back, because even when they square you up, like he's got a good base here. He squares them up, keeps his hands inside, even though he's kind of, you know, that one hand's on the outside, but that's because of how the Jaguars guy's positioned. And he's bending at the knees, gives up no ground. Like, he's showing off power and anchor. Like, that is so impressive for a guy. Like, I mean, poor 35 for the Texans. Like, he never even had a chance. I believe, yeah, that's the Texans. Literally never even got close on his blitzes. And Brooks blocked him, like, 3 times in this game and just completely squared him up. Like, even when he was, like, trying to get past, like, look, even like at this point, like looks like he might shut him, but Brooks is able to still stick with it, recover, and still wash him out of the way. And that was what I was talking about, like lead blocker, whether it's two backs or like a receivers in the backfield, they like to run this reverse action where he's going to be a lead blocker, and he can go out there and block DBs as a lead blocker. As I've said, he has some experience working as a fullback, and he's very willing to get physical. Definitely, obviously, bigger body guy. But this is a value to a team. Like, he's clearly an NFL player. Like, and you can see like his rushing ability more in the preseason. Like, he was a preseason like standout for the Dolphins 2 seasons ago. This is like his second year. Kind of had an injury that was like, I think the injury is the real reason he didn't end up sticking along. But you can see the ability out in space as that lead blocker. You can see the potential of him potentially even giving you fullback snaps. As a fullback, that maybe it won't be you know, an elite blocker, but it gives you enough as a blocker that can also be a guy that you can give touches to, because he has running back ability. Here he is on 35 again, just instantly stonewalling him. Seems to be in the right spot. Backer on backer again. One-on-one, boom, squares him up. Even with 35 getting really low, just creates no push on Brooks. Brooks literally looks like he's a part of the offensive line. Like, look how he gets up there, he attacks, and he just gets even with the offensive line. Looks like he's almost a part of the blocking scheme in line with how well he wins those reps. Just super impressed with a lot of the blocking stuff. So that's basically it. And he's really hasn't played that many snaps, and to not play that many snaps yet and to have that kind of that many clips, and there was even a couple more I could have put in here that were like not as impressive, but they were good enough to win for blocking, is really, really nice. This is his best run, I think, so far this season. He hasn't had too many successful ones yet, but I think the running ability is there. I've seen it enough. Like, here, this guy sets the edge, you know, work through that path, outside zone. I think he makes good decisions. Then cut it up square, like get your shoulders square down the field, break a tackle. He's protecting the ball, stays on his feet, fall forward. Like, he's that type of back for you. Not going to be like super explosive, you know, he's more of like that one cut, get downhill, try to run forward for extra yards. I think he's a type of back that also gets better with experience. Oh, and here's one more blocking too. This is just him getting aggressive on 35. Like, you can see the pop. This one doesn't sustain, but he gets his hands on it. Look how, boom. That's just power in your hands. He's got some powerful hands there from Chris Brooks. Big fan. And then this is one thing I hadn't really seen him do when he was with the Dolphins was run routes. Like, they used him as like a dump off option. Like, he clearly had hands and could catch the ball, but it was more just like him being open in the flat verse zone or running screens. Didn't get to really see his ability like really one-on-one with, like, I'm pretty sure that's a DB, and really, really impressed that he's able to change directions like that and then make a tough catch too. Like, really, really impressive. Quick twitch, that left foot right there where he like hard jab to the outside gets him to shift the DB's leverage. Then he makes a tough catch over the middle of the field. That is the stuff that I like to see. Like, that is very impressive. One of my favorite plays for him. If he can do this, his role becomes even more valuable because he's already shown that he can block. And as a third, like, if he can come in and be your third down back and block all day, but if he has this receiving ability, that just adds to his value so much, especially in these scenarios, because now he doesn't just have to sit in the backfield and block, especially if you got numbers, like, he can leak out. I knew he could catch the ball, but being able to run a route like that just really makes me think like he can be a third down back. And then running the ball, he's been fine, like, nothing too crazy here. I think, you know, he's decisive, he gets downhill, makes pretty quick reads. It's just he doesn't have quite that juice, that burst that you want. I think, you know, that's the reason a guy like this maybe goes undrafted. But I think there's enough there that he can even develop more as a runner, break some tackles. But it's really and this one was, you know, clearly this guy was trying to tackle him, but he protects the ball. He sees that they're trying to let him get in the end zone, and he just gets down. Smart football play. For a younger player, that's what you wanted. You're trying to just win the game with a field goal. And he picked up the first down there too. That's just good stuff. And then, really though, the value he's bringing on those third downs as a blocker is just, I think, is very underrated. Because, like, and even as a lead blocker on runs too, like, a lot of times on these types of plays, like, and the Packers run it a lot, whether it's to Jaden Reed, Bo Melton. Sometimes they do it with like some of their other running backs, like Emmanuel Wilson. Having running back in lead block, that can, you know, change that play from, you know, a 10-yard gain into a 15 or 20-yard gain, or even, you know, make it go a lot longer. If you have a running back that's actually going out there willing to block, I think it makes a bigger difference than people realize. So, big fan of Chris Brooks. Happy for him, you know, whether you're Packers fans watching this or a Dolphins fan. Definitely excited to see that he's getting some recognition, because you could see it in preseason for the Dolphins the past 2 seasons, and even in his limited reps as a player, you could see the blocking ability in like real regular season time. So, I've been on that Chris Brooks train for a while, but if you guys are doing much for, like, comment, subscribe to the hobby.